Hey folks, it's Tom, your Frugal Prepper. So I've just been busy working on stuff. I've been canning. So yesterday I canned, did brake lines on a Dodge. Came out and tore everything out of the shed, put in some shelves, reorganized them. Tilled the garden. I sent some care packages with face masks and gloves to relatives. And I just did that in a way that they picked it up so I didn't have to, go to the post office or anything. But I just been working hard this weekend, getting ready for garden season. So I'll kind of take you on a little tour and show you what I've got. If you're new to my channel, you maybe haven't seen the inside of my shed yet, but this is just my shed. It was getting pretty messy. I kind of keep stuff here to work on small engine things, stuff like that, fuel lines, spark plugs, pull ropes, little toolbox here. This is just my father-in-law's old Kennedy toolbox. I just try to keep a few little tools down here so that I can fix a lawnmower or something. But that's just kind of some fluids, stuff like that. So this thing was just kind of in the way over there, so I moved that over. This shelf was pretty much where that is, so I moved that little shelf over. And then I'm working on getting out of my storage unit because it's $50-some a month. So I've been moving the most critical stuff from my storage unit and throwing everything else that I don't need away. And so these shelves were in my storage unit. So I've got some of my preps here. I have more preps off site, but that's like rice, beans, lentils, ramen, mashed taters, stuff in there. Some 22 LR in there. Just like a little mixture of stuff. I got corn, I got soy, and other stuff. I'm not sure what else in those. I have to look at the top of them to see. So that's a lesson. Always put a note on the front of your bucket with what's in it. Makes it easier. Then I got peat moss, fertilizer. It's 12-12-12, which is all I could find. And I was running low before going into this, so I stocked up. Epsom salt, all my little starter potting mix stuff was back there. Got my burlap, my tarps, so kind of gardening stuff there. I also have more chemicals here. I do have a bucket of NPK down here, or about a half a bucket. I got 2 buckets of potassium, 2 buckets of nitrogen. I got a bucket of dolomite, and I've got another whole bag of dolomite back there. So, pretty good. Got my fuel storage underneath. Got my big generator, my tiny generator, my medium generator stored in the garage. And so I ran both of these yesterday, made sure they run okay and they're good to go. Got the lawnmower's running, got that lawnmower running, got the tiller going. This air conditioner, my mom got this when her central air went out for a little while until I fixed it, and she said I could have this. So this is going to be a permanent addition. And I ran a wire over here so that I can put an outlet in for it. You don't want to know about my wiring situation out here. I'm not proud of it. It's one of those things I want to fix. But basically, there's an extension cord. Okay? And if you can see that little yellow control box right there, kind of look towards the front of my truck. So that's the extension cord runs out to there from the garage and then runs back here. It comes in the bottom. It runs up to this surge protector, which has a 15 amp circuit breaker on it. There's a plug. The extension cord runs into this switch. This switch cuts power to the whole entire shed. This switch turns off just the lights, but it leaves my power strip on so batteries can charge. So normally I turn it all off, but sometimes I just will need to let something charge, but I don't want to leave the lights on. Then I've got plugs kind of run. And then there's one plug in here I didn't have any wire, so it's actually ran the next piece of extension cord over there behind the shelves. But I have the correct wire. I am going to redo that one, and I may just take that one out because it's behind the shelf now. But yeah, so the goal is to run a good piece of 14 gauge in conduit back from the garage, and then run one out to the garden box from here. Put in a little small fuse panel here I only need 15 amps is all I really ever need. But if I'm running it, I might run the extra conductor so I can just bring it back here as 240 volts and split it off into a couple different circuits. But that's what I got for now. This is my free fluorescent light that I got from the hospital when I worked there and they were remodeling. So I hung that up there, and then got a couple lights, regular lights over there, and I got just a regular shop light hanging over here. So let's go outside and I'll kind of show you what I've done out there before it gets completely dark. So basically I took the electric fence down so I can just get in here and work real easily. I don't need to put that back up. And all I do is stretch that wire back out in the fiberglass poles, twist it together, patch it up, it'll be fine. Still have to till this all up. So this has had its first tilling, and then I put tarps over it to keep the water out of it so that the soil will be workable because we get so much rain this time of year. And then I'm going to till in some peat moss and organic material into it, and then probably be planting potatoes here next weekend. Still waiting on the seed potatoes. I'm trading like some fertilizer for some seed potatoes. So and then this bed, of course, all needs to be cleaned out and tilled up and reworked. I got the watering system taken up out of it. I didn't do anything to close it down last year, so I got the watering system out and got all the strings out. So I got to take up the bottom wires and till all this. The back bed here that I'm working on, that will get T-frames this year. So I've got my old house, I had two 30-foot beds with T-frames. Those are 20-foot beds over there. So I have 3 good T-frames I can get out of this collection, and then I'll be able to put my T-frames back up on this bed to expand my vertical growing to get more food. If I have enough galvanized fencing wire left, I'll put a piece between this year so that I can kind of do some vertical growing a little bit out of this bed. But I would like to build some T-frames for this. I'm just not going to spend the money on the lumber right now. So believe it or not, this little 2x4s here, I donned my face mask and gloves and went to the Menards today and got these boards. So I did 4 of the 10 foot to frame in between the T-frames themselves for support, and then the 8 foots are the ones that go down to the ground to tie in to give it its support along the way. So I have 6 of those, and then I gotta have a 4 foot or a 6 foot board, I'm sorry, that goes in the middle in between the 10 foot ones. It goes, crossways, then the wires run through it for more support. And so I have this old pressure treated board back in here that I'm going to use for that. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here on these existing ones. So now the book doesn't say you have to do this, but I like to give my T-frames a lot of support. So I have these boards here that come down to the ground off of each T-frame to give it the support it needs. And then the 6 foot pieces I'm talking about are for here. So this gives your wire extra support in the middle so it doesn't sag. And it really does help, just kind of, as you're tensioning up these wires, it keeps these boards from bowing out when you're trying to put tension on these wires. I don't, like LDS Prepper in his videos, he uses the turnbuckle to get this real tight. I just wrap it around, pull it as tight as I can with vice grips and twist it. And these wires are so stiff that they don't really sag that much anyway. They're fine. But having that extra board gives it a little extra support. So that's just how I do it. And of course we got the wire that's under this mess right here. That's where you tie the strings to. Come up over here. You tie a mooring hitch knot and your plant grows vertically up the string. So I think I'm pretty set here to start doing some serious growing this year. It's gonna be like 2011 all over again, or maybe that was 2012. I think it was 2012 I really cranked up the mitt lighter. And so I've got all my extra, let me move this out, mitt lighter nutrients here. So I got another bag of Epsom salt in there. And then I've got, each of these contains enough to make 2 batches. So I've got 2, 4, 6. Oh, there's a half of one in there. So 5.5 of those packs, which will make 11 full batches of fertilizer. So I'm set there. And then this is 15, 15, 15, which is ideal, right? You want to get close to 15, 15, 15 as you can. That's all I have left of it. And it's 25 pounds a batch, I think. So I went ahead and just got that 12, 12, 12. The best mitt lighter garden I ever had, I grew with 12, 12, 12. With that exact brand of 12, 12, 12. I can't say that was what caused it, because I've changed locations since then. I'm in a completely different house, so soil's different, all that. But we'll see how it does. Organized all my different little gardening chemicals. I do use organic pesticides when I need to. This is I think this is some kind of neem oil or something, but yeah. So I use the organic stuff. And there's my borax. I'm getting a little low on that, but I've just found another box in the basement, so I'm set. But you have to add that when you make your weekly feed. So I'll bring you all along for the journey this year as we get the garden up and running and get things going. But I just thought I'd give you a quick update and let you know how things are going. All right, so that's how things are going as far as the gardening. I'm just preparing this year to be able to grow a lot of food, can it, preserve it, and have it on hand. Because I don't know what's going to happen after this COVID thing's over, but I'm assuming the economy's going to take a downturn and our money's going to be worth less. So that's where I'm going with it. That's what I'm preparing for. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, your Frugal Prepper.